Okay, so today we are working on the polynomials. We need to know what are the basic structures, key features, and gradually by the end of the lesson today, we will go for the end behavior also. The first thing, we have the polynomial as an algebraic expression with 1, 2, like the x and the 5, these are the one terms only. We may have the two terms also in a binomial, which is 2x plus 3 or an x minus 4. And then these two terms, why do we have two terms? Because these are separated by addition or by a subtraction. There can be more than two terms also in a polynomial, like 3x squared plus 2x minus 5. And if we will further look into that, breaking it down, I will take the first term, which is 3x squared. It contains a coefficient, a 3 over here in this case, a variable, which is an x in this case, and this variable as an exponent, that is 2. So the 2 is a square in this case. It can be a cube, it can be a 3, which will help us further classify and to think about the types of these polynomials. Now the key rule is also mentioned over here. What is the key rule? The key rule is no variable in the denominator. Like you cannot have 1 over x or 1 over x squared. There should be no negative exponents because that should also lead towards the variable in the denominator. Or no fractional exponents allowed. You cannot have a square root or a cube root in an algebraic expression. If that's the case, it will not be an algebraic expression. Now, let's look at the types of polynomial. Oh, I said algebraic expression. It will not be a polynomial if we have an exponent as a fraction. Now, let's get back. The types of a polynomial can be classified by a monomial, binomial, trinomial, or generally we can call for a polynomial also. What is a monomial? When you have only one term, example 5x cubed, or you have two terms, that's a binomial. So binomial is an expression, an algebraic expression, which has two terms exactly. So x squared minus 4. Terms will always be separated from each other with a sign. Then we can have a trinomial, three terms. Look at this. We have here three terms, 2x squared plus 3x plus 1. It's three terms separated by two positive signs. And we will generally call any other thing a polynomial. By any other thing means you can have four or more terms, and that will be called a polynomial generally. I would say all of these are polynomials, but just to make it simple, mono that we consider as one term, bi stands for two, tri stands for three, and poly for many. That's how we think about these things. So we'll look further into what is a standard form, what's the degree of a polynomial, what is a leading term, leading coefficient, and constant terms. So let's look at this one. A constant will always have a degree 0 because even if a variable is there, the variable has an exponent 0 which turns out to be 1. So we assume that constant has a variable with it which is 0. We will call that the degree is 1 whenever we have an x as an exponent. Exponent has the exponent of x is a 1. Here it's 1, so degree will be called a 1. And then if I will think about the degree as another example, quadratic, here x squared, the degree is 2. Similarly, here the cubic degree is 3 because it's a cubic expression. The exponent, the maximum exponent here is 3. So whatever is the maximum exponent, like in this case it's 4, so we'll call this a degree 4, and so on. We can determine the degree of a polynomial based on the maximum exponent. Now, the term that has the maximum exponent, like over here it's an x squared, is called a leading term, and its coefficient will be called a leading coefficient. As an example, in this one, 2x is a leading term, and 2 is the leading coefficient. We'll further dig down the characteristics and polynomials in detail further next time.